Okay, last one, guys. These are brutal. I know. I'm really fading. A lot of these I just threw on here because I wanted to highlight, touch on them. Again, Texans take an edge. There is not an absolute ton left, but they didn't score Will Anderson Jr. in the first round. They went offense, quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back, and Derek Hall's pretty damn good. Auburn's a good program. There are a lot of edge guys here, and maybe there's obviously I didn't do any trades or movement, which is fun, but just an absolute beating, 3 rounds deep for every team. So, you're probably going to move around a little bit, and Demario, phenomenal DC. Defensive guy, phenomenal player, right? And so he's going to jump around and have his guys and his ideal perfect linebacker, defensive end, that's his world. So they may hop around a little bit to land in the right spots for the right guys. I hope they can get that done. I don't like the Texans. I loved the Oilers as a kid, and I hate a second team, a Clippers, Chargers, sadly, or whatever. Two teams. Texas is big, but it ain't big enough for two teams. It's Dallas Cowboys all the way. But anyway, yeah, I turned on the XFL. I thought I was watching the Texans, the goofiest damn helmets I've ever seen in my whole life. That's worth a Google. Is it the Renegades down there? I don't think they have their fun, dynamic passer that pieced up we're the Renegades, Arlington Renegades. What are they? The Roughnecks or something? The Oil Derricks? They had this amazing little Kyler Murray dude the last season of the NFL, and I went to the game in Arlington, the old ballpark at Arlington, one of my favorite kind of old school, super intimate, amazing little ballparks, and they stuck the football team in there. And so, I mean, for $100 or something, we were sitting on the front row in the end zone, and I watched this kid just like throw and pass for 3 or 4 touchdowns, just piecing up the Renegades, who XFL standards had a pretty good defense apparently, and secondary. But this kid was just fun. It was just such a fun thing. But I think he must be gone because I haven't seen or heard anything about him. I've been kind of watching Gucci Danucci. I wish you guys would stop buying that True Brand stuff. It's stupid. Okay, if I wore my shirt or my pants upside down, you'd think I was an idiot. If I wore my shoes on my hands, you'd think I was an idiot. That shit is not trendy, and just stop it. But Gucci's still Gucci, I'll tell you that. You guys notice like Mike White, Gucci Danucci, Old Red, what shit. Holy cow. Andy, the Red Rocket. I need a co-host. This is brutal. Hit me up if you want to party. Talk that talk. Andy Dalton. Every backup quarterback. Let's see what happens with Cooper Rush. He'll be running things somewhere next season. All of the Cowboys quarterbacks are out there outplaying some of the bonehead draft picks and moves of other teams, man. Yeah. Anyway, watch when Mike White is running Mike McDaniel's offense halfway through the season if Tua gets hurt. Now that is a juicy little story we could talk about. Man, I'm just kind of chit-chatting. I'm done. I got to get to the gym. I've been in here for 2 hours, basically. I got to get to work. I got stuff to do. round three is pretty brutal, right? A million things are going to happen before it. I'll say Clark Phillips the third is an excellent undersized corner. Um, a lot of people were big on Diane Henley, um, at least here in Dallas, maybe because we were worried we weren't going to have any linebackers at the start of the season. But I don't know. He's good for me. There's the same good later for me. That middle linebacker area is super blah. And then I'd take some flyers on some more lengthy, rangy, potential traits type guys late. What do the guys always say? How many darts you got? Right? You already have a good team. You know, that middle blah. There's a reason they're in limbo in the middle there. You know, something ain't jiving, right? Can you coach it up? Can you teach it? You can't put Miracle Grow on them. So give me the traits, give me the frame, give me the wheels, see what happens. And that's where this is, right? Nathaniel Dell is one of my sleeper favorite guys in this draft, guys. Nathaniel Tank Dell is I don't even know who you would use to describe him. If we got him, he could be like Ty Montgomery. That's a weird one because I was looking back to some of the McCarthy era running back stables with like Stark and then your Lacey or your Bruiser, right? And then your Scat Back, which we have in Pollard, and then your Gadget do-all. I can play receiver if somebody's hurt. I can play quarterback if somebody's hurt. I can play return man if somebody's hurt. I can play running back if somebody's hurt. Ty Montgomery. And I'm kind of looking for something like that. You know, Turpin isn't it, I don't think. I don't want CeeDee Lamb doing it, obviously. I don't want Pollard doing it. I want those guys dedicated superstars in their roles. But I would like a little gadget. I could be Cole Beasley if you need me to. I could be Randall Cobb if you need me to. I could run special teams or some trick plays if you need me to, a la Wilson. You know, so that's a fun thing to think about. Who's your gadget guy? This is the absolute light the fireworks stand on fire Nathaniel Tank Dell for me. Something about him, I just think it's electric. And similar kind of thing here. Here's another underrated Michigan guy. He is slightly undersized by Dan Quinn standards, I suppose, league standards, I suppose, just under 6. But he was the fastest DB, had an excellent 10 split time, shuttle time. And I think he could be a real gem right about here, an absolute gem. DJ Turner out of Michigan. I think that's a sleeper. Asante Samuels, Winfield Jr. type situation right there. Comes from a professional-ass program, a Harbaugh, and a professional-ass defense by college standards. And I think he could be a real find for somebody. And that's kind of where we're at, right? Hendon Hooker, same deal, right? What if Jimmy just it doesn't jive or something or whatever? I'm sure it'll be fine, but it'd be interesting to see Hendon Hooker come in and play some option ball, some weird stuff, just to make it move. You know, if McDaniels falls on his face again, interesting contingency plan to just fall back to option football. It can be done. It has been done. It will be done, much to my dismay. It's there. D-line. Wisconsin's got some boys. I think, if I remember hearing correctly, Joe Tippmann, I keep getting him confused with Luke Weipler, big boys from the Big Ten. I believe Joe Tippmann is the big guard, tackle-ish guard that's been training with Biotish in the off season. Fun, interesting, yes. And Luke, I believe, is the legit dedicated plug-in center. Is what maybe I got him backwards. Let me know, but I think that's right. I'll double check. Cedric Tillman, my favorite receiver at the beginning of the draft process. A couple months ago, this guy, I was on it. And I feel the same way. I said to someone, and people they start getting you doubting yourself, second guessing yourself, mulling over too much. But somebody said, well, what about Hyatt? Right? Because he's sitting there in their mock drafts on the internet in round 1. And I said, I like Cedric Tillman. 6'2", 6'3", big catch radius, and smooth. He's not fast, and he's not an edgy, skates, precise route runner, but he is smooth. He just kind of floats for a big-ass dude right to where he needs to be and plucks that bitch right out of the air, whether it's high, low, behind him, in front of him. And that kind of consistency, that kind of what do they call it? Agility or flexibility. What's the word for the wide receivers? They always say. Anyway, I think he could be a 2-toe touch boundary big guy. That I think he could be great. I could see him in like Green Bay or somewhere, kind of filling in almost a tight end type of a role with some other speed guys and big guys too. But definitely something to watch there. I think Cedric Tillman is a really, really clean, really good player for me. D-line, OT, starting to get into the weeds for me, guys. Marvin Mims, steal. So good. Consistent, fast, route runner, hands. I don't know why he's not getting more love. Good player. Zach Harrison, big name. He is that tall, thick-built edge, no bend, so to speak, which is tricky, right? It's that Chauncey Golson thing. What do you do? Oh, shit, he can't go around the edge. I guess we fatten him up and stick him inside. Cool. Tyron Crawford, little, big. Where do you fit? You don't. Anyway. And then I did put Keyshawn Boyette on here just simply due to the fact that Mike Tomlin, the Steelers organization, they make wide receivers kick ass. And if anybody could teach him some get right, it might be up there. Jordan Battle, Noah Sewell, Tajay Spears, really fun. A.T. Perry is kind of another Cedric Tillman for me. 6'4", 6'5", and just surprisingly clean and polished for that size. Is he fast? Not really. Could he take the top off if he catches him slipping? Yeah. And he's going to catch it because he's so damn huge. Edge player, outside, just the quintessential outside boundary guy. I really like him. I tried not to. I really like him. Now, I do think maybe at the combine, he looked less than impressive. But then again, that wide receiver from, the Bengals college, Iadinessa or something. Similar thing, huge. And at the Senior Bowl, he just kind of laid an egg for me. Maybe one long deep pass, and it's such a hard, minuscule amount of opportunity and time and stuff. But I really like A.T. Perry, and I think I've turned. I think I've turned around, and I like Ioannidis or whatever his name is too. Just teaming with potential, right? They're big. There aren't enough big guys to go around this year, and I think you take a flyer on one of those, and if you get 80% of T. Higgins, you're freaking winning, man. Byron Young, Garrett Williams. I might be pissing into the wind, but I am a huge Garrett Williams teamer. I loved Andre Sisco, and I loved who's the other guy that like skipped a bunch of COVID years and was injured a bunch and all kinds of, just a freak athlete and a nose and an eye and the smarts and the muscle and the size. That guy could be a steal. He could be a bust or he could be a steal. But we're going heavy on Garrett, especially after my favorite player in the draft being an absolute phenom up there in Pittsburgh. My boy Garrett, which one's which? Wilson? Garrett, I don't know. Wide receiver, Pittsburgh. Pickett. Garrett Pickett? Pickens. Wow. All right, boys and girls. That must be it. Blake Freeland. I thought he sucked at the Senior Bowl. Went back and watched tape. Meh. And then just blew up the combine. So that'll be an interesting one to see what happens there, where he goes there. Eli Ricks, transfer from Louisiana to Alabama. So not enough, but size, attitude, demeanor. I like him. I think he could be really good. That nobody's talking about. Voorhees. It'd be fun if we draft a little cheapy guard and then take Voorhees. What a guy, what a story, what a third round potential. Ryan Hayes, another Michigan sleeper. He's like 6'7". I think he could play tackle. Put some beef on him, give him a redshirt year. I think that could be a moneymaker. And then here's your safeties. We're talking about, I wasn't really looking at safeties because all I did every day was pray that Donovan Wilson was re-signed and we kept the three-headed beast together. And we've got some young guys waiting in the wings potentially. But A.J. Finley is a fun flyer. J.L. Skinner is a fun flyer. If you have a chance, take a peek. Like Darius Rush, how's he sitting in the third? I think that's money. KU Blue Kelly, another potential third-round steal. There's a lot of stuff in the middle. Luke Schoonemaker is who I was going to throw somebody a bone earlier here. I think Broadus really likes him. I've heard his name a few times, but he could be good. But like I said, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 tight ends, not your first-round top 3 or 4 guys that I like that could play maybe day one. The Clemson tight end is who I'm hard on right now. Hot on? Wow. Radio edit? Sorry, guys. He's like 6'6", I think, and about 250, 60. So he's just a little bit bigger than your old reliable Witten, but he has some juice to him as far as speed. He's not fast, but for a tight end, he moves great. Good body control. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. And great hands. Just a chug-a-lug do work guy, and it just feels right. It just feels like he'd fit right in with our other two guys. We have a three-headed monster there, making people wish they had our safety set up. So really fun and excited there, and I think they'll do the right thing. I mean, they absolutely nailed it with Fergs, and Hendershot was such an amazing free agent, fun snag as well. If he can just dial it in and be a pro, I think he lost some focus with all the early success last year, kind of like Turpin, but we've talked about that before. Overshawn, I'd really like to see what happens with him. Does he have that twitch to be successful at his type of game? Riley Moss, that'd be a great little story. I feel like he's the only white cornerback in the draft. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I guess you could stick him out there with old racist Bosa and see what happens. Just kidding, guys. Don't hate me. But I think that kid is just a try-hard, hard-working, earned every step that he's got every step of the way. 6'1", maybe? Is he a little undersized? I don't think so. Maybe a tick slow, but God, hard worker, and I think he would just soak it up and learn and, be one of those guys that could just dissect a play and anticipate potentially. I don't know. Or maybe not. But I'll be interested to see what he does in the big league. Same deal with Travarius Hodges-Tomlinson, kind of an underrated dude, but a lot of potential. A lot of potential in the third and fourth round. Same thing goes for these guys. I think that's why I put them on here. Parker Washington, Jalen Reed, obviously a little undersized. That's the class, but thick, lower half and shit. I was watching, now I'm getting them confused, but kind of give me like a Steve Smith, grit, toughness, Debo Samuels kind of. They're not fast, but they do get up ahead of steam a little bit, right? They kind of just roll on through. Guys, extra yards, yak. I think both of those guys will be productive, potentially. I know Reed's, Kavanaugh's a big fan of Reed's. And yeah, it's that slow is smooth, smooth is fast kind of a mantra, right? Consistent hands, consistent routes, smooth with all of it. Not electric or exemplary in any regard, but smooth. And I would put Parker Washington kind of right in that same zone, right? Not huge, not little, not fast, not slow, not crisp, not sloppy. Good hands, hard worker, and I think smart, and they get it. Those are good programs. Penn State's had some good success, and Michigan State has been really fun the last 5 years, I would say. So that's it, boys and girls. I am spent, and I am 4 minutes over my allotted schedule for the day. Gym, tan, laundry, push-ups, chapstick, tracksuits. Let's go, baby. Dallas Cowboys are loaded. About to turn on the nose and see we got D-Hop. Yeah?